Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Krol Show. Thank you for tuning in. Got a couple things I want to talk about today. One of them, social media. One of them, kind of a dream I've always had and a vision of that dream that is much different but still fulfilling that dream. Also want to bring up the podcast. Going to try and take this down a little bit because I've been doing some other things lately that have been really great and really beneficial, and it's taking more of my time, focusing more of my time there than on the podcast. Just because it's also really enjoyable, and I'll get into it later for you. But we're gonna try and do this every other week, and the social media for this is really non-existent anymore. I had somebody that was helping me out with that. She since found a better opportunity, which was great. There was no hard feelings there. She was very respectful about it. So, what I meant by a vision on a dream was I heard this thing recently from another podcast, Dr. John Deloney's show. He's part of the Ramsey Network, as you know, big fan of the Ramsey Network. And he said, you got to take these visions and these, quote, dreams that you have of, you in 10 years. And I'm definitely going to screw up what he said a little bit, but I'll get the point across. And you got to kind of scrap those, because when you say you have a dream and it doesn't come true, you think you failed. And it's not true. You just recreated a different vision of it. So what I mean by that is I always had a dream of owning my own gym. And what that vision looked like to me was you walk into this nice big building, there's a desk, you scan your card, you go in, you work out, there's trainers, there's, all sorts of machines, there's free weights, there's treadmills, there's a powerlifting section in the back, there's a CrossFit section over here. I wanted this big facility, a one-stop shop for anybody fitness related, that you could get like boom CrossFit, boom powerlifting, boom bodybuilding, yoga room. All that stuff was kind of the vision for that. And what has happened is our home gym, if you follow me on Instagram, and if you want to, it's at Nick_Krol. Our home gym has kind of become our gym. And when I first started buying equipment for that, everybody was kind of like, oh yeah, you want to own a gym, so you're just investing in the equipment now, right? And I was like, not really. Like, this isn't commercial stuff. Like, we have like some stuff from Titan Fitness, we have some dumbbells from another website, stuff like that, and there's very few things in there are like commercialized equipment. And there's also just not nearly enough equipment. And I wasn't like, no, this was more just for me and my wife to save some time on going to the gym, so we're not, spending the money on the gas and the membership. And yeah, if you do the numbers, the money you save on that is not, it's not worth it from a numbers standpoint. But from a time standpoint and a motivation standpoint, it's absolutely worth it. Because personally, I don't work out with headphones ever. I like to work out with music through speakers, and I'm not that guy in the gym that brings his own speaker because you're just an asshole. So, it's really nice for me to have that. It's nice for my wife to be able to walk downstairs and not have to worry about going to a gym. It saves us so much time and so much hassle. And that was really all it was at first, was it was supposed to just kind of be that. And, I always had the vision of owning that big facility, owning that gym. And what's recently started happening in the last few months, hence why there hasn't been as much on the podcast, was I've been training people down there, and people have taken a pretty big interest in what I've been doing down there and wanting to come over. And it's been awesome for not only them, but for me too, because I've learned a lot, and I've been able to help a lot of people change a lifestyle and, get people on, not that they were on the wrong path before, but get them on a better path and help them really discover more confidence, build up their confidence, discover themselves a little bit more, give people more of a purpose. And it's been really awesome to see some of the results so far. And I mean, I've only been doing it for a couple months now, so I'm really looking forward to the future of this thing. And it's under, well, not officially yet. I have to wait for my my guy to get back to me, but it's going to be under my RN Fitness LLC. And it's, so it's going to be a legit business. If you own an LLC, that's a limited liability company. It's a small business, whatever. You can have different filings under there. So you have, like, obviously right now mine is cut and sew clothing. I'm extending it to training. And what that's going to do is that's just going to kind of allow me to own a gym in a little bit different manner than I anticipated. But it's been really good. And I've noticed that one-on-one connection and having your own private space for that is really cool, and it's really, really unique. And I think that's why a big advantage, at least for me, is that I have that one-on-one space, and I have that, hey, because I like getting new people into the gym. I like, if somebody that's been working out for a long time wants to come work out, sure, but I think that, if you've been working out long enough, you don't really need a trainer anymore. So I really enjoy working with people that are new, people that haven't worked out, people that want to get their feet in the gym, start moving some weights, start making a difference, losing weight, whatever it is that you want to do. Personally, would rather try and help somebody build muscle rather than lose weight, but it's nice to have that one-on-one space that hey, I'm new, I don't want other people looking at me, I don't want other people around, and it's a really big advantage to that is, people like that. They don't want to feel like they're being watched or judged or anything like that, and it's nice for them, it's nice for me, because I can I know what's going to be there, and there's no, hey, this was on the plan, but there's 5 people using this, so we're going to have to move to this. This is the plan, and this is the plan. So that's been really cool. But that vision has completely changed now. Like, now I'm so focused on trying to build that up and trying to finish that in a way better way, make it, like, I still got to finish some of the walls, stuff like that. Get better equipment in there. And it's really changed the vision into something better than it was before. If I would have looked at this and said, hey, I have this vision of owning this big commercialized gym, and I mean, you could say that failed. Not that I was planning on a longer timeline, but you could almost say that vision failed. And it wasn't a failure, though. It was a step in the right direction, because everything I've done with RN Fitness, the clothing part of it, was for that. When I started it, it was with owning a gym in mind. That was why I did it. I started with a logo and a brand, and I wanted to put a brand out there and a message out there. And that was what the gym was going to be, so people could see, oh, RN Fitness, I got the shirt from them 4 years ago or yesterday, whatever it is, and I'd see their facility here now. Like, let me go check that out. It was that was the idea behind the clothing. And because I always wanted to help and get people into fitness, and that was how I was going to get them in the door to then, do whatever they wanted to do, get them into some training. Maybe they just wanted to work out, whatever it was. That was the original goal. And to get to there, I was like, okay, well, let me get some shirts going. Let me get an Instagram going. Let me brand something. And I did, and it slowly kind of created this opportunity for training downstairs now, which is, I mean, incredible. I don't have to drive to work if I don't want to. I just walk downstairs. So on days my wife is home too, we'll be on the couch watching TV or whatever we're doing. I'll go over, grab my plan for the day. I always write everything out in advance. Walk downstairs. After an hour and a half, walk back upstairs. There's no commute. It's awesome. And it's been great so far. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is don't get so hung up on one vision. Allow yourself to create different visions of that vision. I still own a gym, technically, right? I mean, technically still own a gym, have a gym. It's just not the gym I pictured. It's not the way I pictured it. But in my opinion, it's better. And I could start it a lot sooner. And that's why that the podcast has been lacking. That's why everything on social media has been lacking. But that also brings me to my next point of social media, is because this is going to be so two-sided and so back and forth. But I think social media is so helpful and beneficial, and also so toxic and bad. And I think it's purely on your intentions, on what you want to do with it. I recently put out a post a couple weeks, maybe a month ago, on my @Nick_Krol page, KROL. And I said, social media has been consuming a lot of my time for a long time. And I mean, there was days I would spend 4 or 5 hours, which is pretty common, I guess. I've asked some friends to look up theirs. 4 or 5 hours seems pretty common. It seems like a lot, but it's pretty common. You're at work, you open it for 10 minutes. You're on your way home, you open it for 10 minutes. You sit down when you get home, you're on it for an hour. And that time just keeps adding up throughout the day. And I was like, we have become a society where you talk about somebody and you go, oh yeah, this is their Instagram. And if they got 2 pictures and 1 follower, you're like, oh yeah, they're nobody. And I started realizing some of the most successful people I know either A, don't have social media, or B, have 10 followers on it because they're busy doing real stuff in the world that they don't have time for the social media. Or the third option is the really, really successful people that do have social media don't run their own social media. So where did this misconception of social media is so crucially important come into play? And granted, like, listen, that's the flip side of that, right? It's like, it has helped me build a brand. It has helped me get a message out there. It has helped me start all this. Without Instagram, Facebook, without those posts, would I still have a gym downstairs? Yes, probably. Would I still have been able to get people in there to train? Maybe. That's where it came in to advertise, like, hey, I'm into this. This is what I do. I've shown you what I can do. I've shown you what I've done. And that is where I think social media really helped in my aspect. But I noticed very quickly that, you talk about somebody like Dave Ramsey, talk about the guy all the time. You think he's running his Facebook or Instagram? No, promise you he's not. He says all the time, we have a social media department. Elon Musk, guy doesn't even have a Facebook or Instagram. I think he's got a Twitter. Bezos, I think that's the same thing. I don't really keep up with all them too much, but I'm pretty sure that guy doesn't have an Instagram or anything. Maybe he does. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is all these like really successful people sometimes they don't even have social media, and especially people that I've known in my life that are really good people that are happy doing things that they love to do. A lot of them don't have social media, or they do, and like I said, they have a few followers. But something I wanted to do was get off social media a little bit more and get in touch with real people more. And what I meant by that was, instead of being on my way home and just on cruise control, zoning out on the highway and like, oh, maybe I'll flip through Instagram real quick. And not saying I condone texting while driving or anything like that, but sometimes there's just nobody around and you got 60 more miles to go and you got nothing better to do. So don't text and drive, or be on social media and drive. But I was like, why don't I call somebody? Call my grandparents. Call. They love to talk. Grandparents always love to talk. They're retired. They don't do anything anyways. They can't wait for the phone to ring. And I started doing that more, and we've built a better relationship. Started spending less of a rush out in public, and this one was really important to me. I noticed I was always rushing around outside in public because I'm so busy, quote, right? Because I would tell myself, oh, this time spent on Instagram is invested. This is invested in valuable time on Instagram into my business. I'm not wasting my time here. I was wasting a lot of time on it. No matter how you slice it, no matter how many times you're sending DMs, like, there's more efficient and more productive ways to do that. Even if you are completely focused the whole time that you're using social media, there's still other ways you could have been a little more productive, at least in my opinion. And so when I started going out in public, I noticed I was just always in a rush, so I could come home, sit down, I want to send 100 DMs today, or I want to put out this post today, blah, blah, blah. Well, to put out a post, you got to make sure you go through, you like some people's posts, so they come back, so they see your post. You got to, interact with people. You can't just post and not do anything, because then it doesn't go up, reach as many people, et cetera, et cetera. And so I was like, why am I in such a rush to make a connection with, 120, 130 people that, like the post or whatever they do with the post per post you make, when I could go out in public, take my time, and have a genuine conversation with another human and have a good interaction with somebody. And I started doing that. And I mean, some of the conversations I've had recently have been pretty funny. Usually it's older people that will take the time to stop and talk to you, a lot more so than younger people. Again, maybe because it's that social media craze. I mean, it was for me. And you get to learn some things, because I always say I believe you can learn something from everybody. And one of the people I recently talked to, he owned a couple GNCs. They were like private. They weren't part of the corporate. He was explaining it. It was really complicated. But we had a great conversation, and it led to some other opportunities. And, stuff like that. You just never know where a conversation will go. Something else I tried doing was I wanted to make a difference in the community. I wanted to try and build a better local community. So every time I would go to a gas station, I was like, all right, how can I do something nice for other people? So every time I was at a gas station, or every time I'm at a gas station, I wait for somebody to come. If there's nobody coming, I just go. But try to wait for somebody to come, say, hey, how are you today? I'd like to get you $20 worth of gas. Recently, this lady, I've been told no a couple times, quite a few, more than you would expect. But recently, this lady was in such shock, and it hit me like, this is like unnormal, weird, however you want to put that, for somebody to just do something nice. Like, that's where the world has gone now, is that doing a nice gesture for somebody in person is weird or uncomfortable, or, oh, I don't want to talk to this person. Like, oh, I don't know them. Like, it's so much more common now to slide into somebody's DMs than just say hi to somebody in person. You ask almost anybody how they met now. Oh, we met on Tinder. Oh, Instagram. Oh, Facebook. Like, doesn't have to be like that. I mean, I'm not saying it's the worst way. I'm not saying it's horrible, but I like how my wife and I met. You know, it was a good story, and people hear that and they're like, oh, that's cute. Compared to, yeah, we met on Instagram, and they're like, oh yeah, cool. And like, listen, sometimes a great relationship can come out of Tinder. You know, I've seen it a few times. Got a few friends that met that way, and they're loving it. They're living. Oh my God, sorry. They're living it up. They're loving life. They're happy, and great. I'm happy for them. That's awesome. But you can do so much more in person and impact people in such a better way in person. And to the point I was making with the gas, this lady was like, why? I was like, I don't really have a reason. I mean, I'd appreciate if you could pay it forward, buy somebody else a coffee or pay for a little bit of gas for somebody else. It doesn't have to be the full amount, whatever you want to do. And she was like, no, I'm all set, and started looking around. I was like, I'm not recording you. Like, this is just trying to buy you some gas. If you don't want it, that's fine. I understand. She's like, yeah, I'm going to pass. I'm sorry. I just couldn't believe it. And so when I came home and told my wife about that, she was like, yeah, that's fucking weird. And I was like, what do you mean that's fucking weird? And she was like, yeah, that's fucking weird. And I was like, okay, how? She's like, if some stranger came up to me at a gas station and said, hey, let me buy you $20 worth of gas, I don't know what I would do, but I wouldn't take it. I don't want him getting that close to me. And I was like, wow, that's like it was a good point. It was kind of a way to like step back for a second and be like, okay, like put myself in that lady's shoes. Like, what if somebody was like, hey, you want $20 worth of gas? Like, would you trust that person? Would you allow that to happen? Like, that's why I think I don't get coffee from drive-thrus, but I think that's why it's different in a drive-thru, because there's no person-to-person transaction there. There's no seeing. There's just, hey, I'll get this guy's coffee behind me, and that's that. To where I'm trying to make it an actual in-person transaction, so you can then have a conversation. That's the goal of it, is to strike up a conversation. And I was like, yeah, I guess that could be taken as weird, but why? Why has society made that weird? Like, doing a kind thing for somebody else, why has that become weird? And I don't know, maybe I'm just fucking weird. If I am, send me a DM, tell me I'm weird, tell me that's fucking weird. But I would like to know if somebody approached you and said, hey, I'd like to get you $20 worth of gas randomly. You just pulled up to a gas station. This guy was, hey, how are you today? Good. How are you? Good. Thanks. You mind if I get you $20 worth of gas? What would you say to that? And it's like putting myself in that situation after my wife said, yeah, that's fucking weird. I was like, I guess that could be a little weird. Like, if somebody just randomly came up to me and was like, hey, I want to get you gas. But the fact that it's weird was the thing I had a problem with. Not that it was weird. It was the fact that we've made it weird. And I don't want to keep talking in circles here. I don't want to keep going down a spiral of it, but I would like to know some other opinions on that, or if you have other ideas of how to make a difference like that, little things like that, just saying hi, smiling at people. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's really all I got. I just try and do a little bit more in person in the community and a little bit less on social media. And I mean, I feel better about it. I feel happier about it. I hope I'm making a small difference. But, I think of it as like a chain reaction. You do something nice for somebody, maybe they're encouraged to do something else nice for somebody else. And it just kind of keeps going like that. And I think that's a good way to try and build a community, compared to just everybody's always so focused on themselves, only worrying about themselves. Instead of when somebody fucks your order up at whatever you go to, Dunkies or Starbucks, instead of yelling at them or being irritated, hey, it happens. That's all right. Thank you. I had some guy bought I don't know what the hell they call those drinks at Starbucks, a green tea for my wife. And this dude spilt it like 3 times. And he like started getting embarrassed and like kind of shit. I was like, no, it's good, man. Like, don't worry about it. It happens. And like the look in his face, like the calmness, because I'm sure he just gets screamed at all day by people that, you spill a little bit of a drink and people just lose their minds. It's like, no, it's fine. Clean it. Don't worry about it. But, things like that, having a little bit more patience for people and, trying to make the world a little bit better place, one person at a time. I think it'll be more beneficial to do it in person versus online and in social media. And again, I don't think social media is bad. I do think that there is that positive interaction on social media. And if you're looking for that positivity, you'll find it. there's a lot of negativity in social media too. Like TikTok, when I first opened up a TikTok, the most viewed TikToks were always the ones that were just talking shit or like making fun of people or being mean. Same with the comments. And I was like, this kind of sucks. And someone told me how you can play with the algorithm a little bit so you can change that stuff. You have to like, I wasn't liking any videos. And I guess if you go like the videos that you want to see, more like that will pop up. So now I see some more of like the motivational things, but it just goes to the point of whatever you're looking for, you'll find. So let's try and keep it positive, try and make a difference in the community. And thank you guys again for tuning in to this episode of the Nick Krol Show. Follow me on Insta at Nick_Krol. You can also follow my business at RN Fitness Gear. Like I said, I'll try and get one of these out every other week. If I can do every week, I will. It's really hard to schedule people now with the new schedule I have. I come home from work and I try and train people until it's time to go to bed. So we're making it happen one day at a time. And thank you guys again. Hope everybody's well, and I'll see you on the next one. Till then, take care.